Can't find ammo? Or is ammo too expensive? Maybe you just don't have time to get to the range. Let me show you a cost-effective way to get your training in at home. Now before I begin, realize I'm shooting in my neighborhood. You're probably going to hear traffic. You may hear some dogs barking or birds chirping and all kinds of stuff like that. But don't worry, we're going to get all this in and we're going to be safe. And speaking of safety, I am wearing eye protection and I'm wearing the Wiley X Rogue. Now, maybe you've heard of Airsoft. Now, these guns I thought were toys. I got a couple in, and let me tell you, these are almost exact replicas of the real thing. Now, I shoot a Sig Sauer P320 X5 for competition. Now, they didn't have an X5 for Airsoft, but they did have the M17. So I got the Sig Sauer M17, and you can see I am wearing my competition belt, and it goes right into my holster with no problems. As a matter of fact, even the magazine goes right into my mag pouch. Now, before I begin, let me get the target set up and get the downrange camera going, and I'll be right back. Now, the Airsoft BBs that I'm shooting today, I got from e-Vike. They are 6mm and they're biodegradable. So therefore, over time, they'll degrade and there'll be nothing left. And you can see, after my last shot, my slide stays open. And you were seeing, when I squeeze the trigger, you can see the slides moving, so you're getting a little bit of recoil with this. Now, I have a steel plate rack down there that I'm playing with, and as you'll see on the footage, it's kind of a pain. It doesn't seem like it's working all that well. I'm going to play with it a little more, and I'm just dropping BBs again. But I want to play with it a little more. I have a couple more targets. I'm going to do a review of the targets in a different video, but realize that, you know, you don't have to just shoot holes in paper. I'm not a big paper target fan. I like to shoot steel, which is why I got these targets. So we'll see how that goes. And I got just a couple more here I want to load up. And we'll see what we got. See if I can get a little better at shooting these little plates. Now, even though this slide is moving, it's not like you're getting a full recoil. You are getting a little bit of recoil in your hand, but it's nothing like shooting a 9mm or anything with live ammunition. So I'm just topping my magazine off here. I reset my plates down there, and we'll do another run. Now, the one thing about this gun is I am actually shooting it with CO2. If you want to shoot green gas, which is essentially propane with a little bit of oil in it, you can shoot green gas as well. You just need to buy a green gas magazine. I decided on CO2 just because of another gun that we bought for the Airsoft that also runs CO2. So I just wanted to get everything down to one CO2 cartridge. And with that, I ran out of CO2. So I'm going to swap out my CO2 cartridge here. And there's just a screw down on the bottom here that you get this Allen wrench that you stick in here. And of course, I'm doing it on air, which always makes it a little harder to do when you're doing it live here. So I just open that up and take out the old cartridge, and then I will pop in the new one we'll just kind of drop the bottom in and then tighten that up. You'll hear the little gas escape there. And you're ready to go again. With that, let me go set the plates back up. Now these steel targets, and I'm going to do a review on the targets and a different thing, because I actually have some other targets as well. But I found that you can only shoot them at about 10 feet. Anything past that, they just don't want to fall. You probably saw a little BB fly back. That's why you want to make sure you're wearing eye protection. We're back inside, and I have the M17 Airsoft pistol on the bench here. Before we begin, I do want to show you, this is my X5 that I use for competition, and it in fact is unloaded. So I'm going to show you what the difference between an X5 and this M17 Airsoft pistol is. Now they don't have an X5 Airsoft pistol, but this was the closest that I could come. Now the M17 Airsoft does come apart just like all of its P320 variants in the real world. Now you can take the recoil spring out, but you can't actually take the barrel out. I mean, it's in there pretty good, and I haven't quite figured out how to get that barrel out, but again, we probably don't need to. I can do some pretty good cleaning without taking that barrel any farther. Now, putting it back together, there we go. So there is the basic field stripping of this M17 Airsoft. Now let's take a look at the mag here. You can see my CO2 cartridge is right there. I did have to change this on the range. And in the bottom here is a hole, and you really can't see it in there, but that's where you tighten with an Allen wrench to push that CO2 cartridge up to charge the magazine. Now to load the magazine, you pull down and you actually just push the BBs in through the top here. Now, to give you an idea here, I'm going to dry fire this, and yep, the slide stays open just like a regular gun when it's empty. We'll pull this out, and to give you an idea, here is an M17 magazine versus the Airsoft. I mean, they really worked on making these as close as possible. I mean, all the way down to just giving you the dents on the side for, you know, the bullet indicators. So they did a really good job with this. Now, like I said before, there's my X5. And you can see it is roughly the same size. And then this is the holster that came with my X5. This is just a real kind of crappy holster that came from Sig with the gun. And you can see my X5 fits into it. But also, this Airsoft pistol falls in right into place with this holster, and even the retention works just as well. There are Airsoft clones for just about every pistol out there. In fact, my wife carries a Beretta 85. Now, they don't have a Beretta 85 Airsoft pistol, but they do have a Beretta 84. And the only difference between an 85 and an 84 is that the 85 is single stack, while the 84 is a double stack. So we got a Beretta 84 in, she shot it. We're going to show you that in a separate video, and we'll go through that pistol because it has its own uniquenesses, and it'll be really important for you to see those. Thanks for watching. Hope you're staying safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.